everybody, welcome to the Tuesday edition of Warrior Daily. I'm Tom Gorman. Joining me this week is Rick Cummins, the head coach of the cross-country programs here at Wayne State. And Coach, you've had a nice preseason, including a nice little trip up north, getting ready for the 2012 campaign. Tell us a little bit about your trip.
We had 10 solid days of just great weather and beautiful hills and dirt and grass and non-city like conditions. Real good team building, but more importantly, I mean we got some good solid work in, and we had a good idea of what our team's all about this year. So it was very productive.
Well, speaking of your team, 33 runners altogether between the two rosters. Incredible depth for this program right now. What does it allow you to do in terms of training and getting your lineup set for week to week?
Well, first thing when I realized how many we had, I called Coach Winters and I said, "How do you do this?" And he said, "You need more assistants." So we've got four really solid assistant coaches with track and cross country, and Kirby and Matt and Lauren, of course, have been here for a few years, and Kirby Blackley is our associate head coach for track, and she's blended in really well with the cross country program. And Kelly Ash just started with our throwers group, and they're just four solid people that make it a little bit easier. One guy trying to have a conversation with 33 different people every day, it doesn't, it can't happen. So, we've got a good solid staff of five, and at 33, it's by far the deepest we've ever been, and not just from a numbers standpoint. Both these teams, our 10, 11, and 12 runners are the best depth we've ever had. So it's real exciting this year. We're not sure what the front's going to look like, if we're going to have a big home run hitter on each side, but we've got a lot of quality kids that just a lot of fun to work with this group so far.
Well, you certainly had some talented seniors who left the program last year on the men's side, but of the 33 runners you have, 19 are on the men's roster, and certainly a good balance there of some veteran leadership and some freshmen coming in as well.
Yeah, this freshman class, I'm real excited about this freshman class, both guys and girls. I mean, on the men's side, it's going to take a little bit longer for those guys to adjust to college running. It's 8K and 10K running here in the fall is a little bit different than what most these high school kids have been used to. But Steve Neshkoff and Austin Alcala are transfer kids coming in. Austin's going to redshirt this year, working on his nursing program. He's going to have 3 years here, so we're going to redshirt him and then get him going next year. Steve's a little bit older guy. He's got a lot of miles in his legs. He's not like a freshman, in any manner. He's a good, solid leader. He's a work dog. I mean, holy smokes, you want a guy that will bleed and work their butt off. This guy, tell him to do something, and you come back an hour later, and not only is that done, but 6 other things that needed to get done that you didn't ask him to do. So, Steve's blending in really well. Jimmy Maloney, Nick Jackson, Nick Culberts, and even Pat Miller a little bit. We've got some kids that are starting to take on a bit more leadership roles in the past, and it's real good to see. I'm happy with where our leadership is headed right now.
Speaking of leaders on the women's side, Chelsea Fuller, a senior captain for this team, she will be probably the one you're looking to as the go-to person on that side. Yeah,
no doubt. I mean, the toughest thing, Chelsea is, rock solid. I mean, Chelsea's gold. Anybody that knows her in the department, I mean, everybody knows, just like Steve, she's going to do more than you ask, and she's going to get things done. You don't ever worry about, how she's representing, your program or your university. She's just first class through and through. We'd like to believe we've assembled a team full of kids like that just haven't been around as long as Chelsea. So in time, we'll have a few more that are, talked about in the same way. But the big thing this year is just to make sure we don't, take that for granted or take that leadership and pile too much on that, to the point where it just burdens her and she just can't get, any time for herself, or, stresses her out too much that it's just a burden and then she can't perform. So we don't want to do that. But Chelsea's got a good head on her shoulders, and she's, she knows when to say no, and she knows when to come in and say, "Hey, Coach, this is just too much. We need to back off for a couple days here and just let me get my, wits about me." And Chelsea's she's awful good. We've got her through this track season. Wish we could have snuck another year of track eligibility out of her, but this is her 5th year of school, so it's exciting. She's definitely, I don't exactly know how to say this, but in terms of taking this track team and sort of transitioning from cross country only to cross country with track, having someone like Chelsea in her 5th year it's making the coaching job a heck of a lot easier to just kind of roll right through with the athletes. So we're gonna miss her when she's gone, but we're definitely gonna, have a good season with her and get a lot out of her this year.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be exciting to follow this program, especially as you've mentioned, Coach, transitioning into the first season for women's indoor and outdoor track. We're going to have a lot more on that as the fall progresses. And fans, if you're driving through the midtown and downtown areas in Detroit, odds are you'll see masses and packs of Wayne State runners trading hard, getting ready for the season. 2 teams that finished 3rd and 4th in the GLIAC championships last year. I know you guys have your goals set pretty high again this year in terms of postseason. Yeah,
around here, athletic director Rob Fournier, it's just a great environment to be in as far as, expecting to win. That's how we operate. That's how we operated before Rob got here, and it was great to see and hear when he got here that everything we were trying to do, the new AD, not so new anymore, he's been here 10 years, but that's what he stands for, and that's what he supports. And if you're not trying to be a national caliber program, my attitude is, what's the point? Matt and I, us old guys can just go out and run a few miles every day and, call it a workout. But this is college athletics, and, we're out here, we're trying to, wear our colors as proudly as we can and beat as many other schools as we can and, respect the sport and, respect the opponents and, just climb that NCAA ladder as high as we can. And the goal is, always been in this program since I've been here, making it to NCAA championships and, getting inside the top 10 and working your way up inside the top 4 or 5 has been the goal. And I think adding track is a huge shot in the arm, to our whole program, not just our women's program. I mean, there's things that program's going to do that's going to make our men's cross-country team that much better. Some people have said, what is it? Are the men going to take a step back? And no, every one of these guys is, embracing that. And who knows what the future is going to hold for men. But the future for men's cross country is looking as good as it ever has around here. With the addition of women's track, and obviously it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that women's cross is going to benefit from women's track. But it's exciting. There's a lot of work to do. We all know that, and we got a great conference. I mean, there's a lot of doggone, real good programs in the GLIAC. The GLIAC indoor and outdoor conference track meet is just in some things it's an NCAA meet. I mean, there's some very, very strong, programs out there, and that's, we welcome that. We want to get in there and mix it up with them, and if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. It's that, age-old cliche that it's true, and we're going to be right there mixing it up with some of the, they know we're coming. So Wayne State, it's exciting. I mean, I don't even know what to say. You wish you could fast forward 3 years and see what's going to happen, but day in and day out, man, we're gonna bust our tail to make it a good one.
Sounds good. Well, the journey, so to speak, begins this weekend for you guys at the Titan Invitational, an event you've had some success in the past, and good luck, Coach, this weekend and going forward, and hopefully we've got some pretty positive conversations ahead about your programs.
Appreciate it, Tom. Always looking forward to it.
All right. That's Rick Cummins on this Tuesday edition of Warrior Daily.